All right, welcome back. We are going to be going over the Sunday slate, a little Sunday recap for you guys, and we're going to start off with the early morning game, the Toy Story Edition game, Falcons first, Jaguars. Very nice having football early in the morning, so you kind of get it throughout the day. This one, Desmond Ritter kind of was the story here. First half, two interceptions, one went back for a pick six, kind of killed the Falcons in that regard. Bijan went for 105. Jaguars kind of settled for too many field goals in the red zone area, but ended up winning this one 23-7, and they will be staying in London this week to play the Bills upcoming, who just came off a big win. Did you happen to watch the Toy Story version of this game?
I watched it for a little bit and then got tired of it. Went over to the actual version. But yeah, it's a shame that the Jags got down or the Falcons got down 17-0. They had to abandon the run a little bit, but as you can see, Bijan Robinson is going to be a really good player. I mean, 14 carries, 105. That's what 5 yards a carry almost,
Yeah,
a little bit more,
good.
6 yards a carry. So yeah, he's a stud. I mean, they guys see what they have in Ritter. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know if I don't. They're not built to come back from 17 down. Like they got to continue running the ball. So getting down early like that, it's probably closer than what the actual game was. I mean, like you said, the Jags go in the second half, 13 plays, 65 yards field goal, 10 plays, 74 yards field goal. So um, the Jags probably, that should be maybe even a 30-7 game or something like that.
yeah.
So
I wonder
um,
if Heineke is going to see any time. I don't know how quick they'll be off of Ritter. I mean, they got a pretty good roster. They got some talent, just some guys not performing, and it always starts with the quarterback, of course. Moving on to the next one, Bills Dolphins. Was looking forward to this one. Dolphins going in after scoring 70 and being an underdog three. I mean, Bills just handily won this game. Diggs goes for the hat trick. Josh Allen 4 touchdowns. Their defense played well, even having Jordan Poyer out. Um, this one really, I mean, in the beginning, obviously they were going back and forth a little bit, but after that, it's just too much. The Bills' offense was too much for the Dolphins.
yeah, I think the difference in the game is the Bills were able to get to Tua. I
Yeah,
mean, they had 4 sacks on him, bunch of quarterback hits, and that was the issue with teams playing the Dolphins for the first couple weeks. They weren't able to get to Tua, and I think when Tua can sit back there and be comfortable, I mean, eventually Tyreek Hill, Jalen Wild, they're going to get open. Those types of guys are going to get open. So the Bills made it a point to get some pressure, get some guys in his face, and they did that effectively. And then offensively, I think Josh Allen probably had one of his better games. Going 21 for 25, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and playing, and more importantly, 0 interceptions.
yeah,
So, Diggs made some plays in the yards after the catch that led to six that one play. But yeah, I think this is a huge statement win by the Bills. I think after scoring 70, I mean, there's there's a chance that you're going on the road to the Bills. Like that's a tough place to play.
yeah,
So um, yeah, I don't think this changes anything. I think I always had the Bills winning that division.
yeah.
Um, but it's definitely a two team race now. With where the Jets are at, and
Yeah.
where the Patriots are at now.
Let's
So
say if in terms of just efficiency, Josh Allen's been good. He's got to be in him, Lamar. I mean, Tua is still there too, but for that MVP race, it's early. But moving on to the next game, Broncos Bears. First half, everyone's back on Justin Fields. Throws the 4 touchdowns, but they have an absolute collapse. Up 21 in the fourth quarter. Fields turns it over twice. The fumble for a touchdown. Also throws the pick at the end, and then questionable call. Obviously, after tying the game up, you have a chance to kick a field goal under 3 minutes. Fourth and one, you choose to go for it, and awful. I don't think it was a good play call. I think you'd rather get Fields on a rollout, quick throw to the flat, or let him use his feet to get that first down. But they blow it. Matt Eberflus got to be on. I meant he got to be on the hot seat after a 21-point game. Like you look at the Bears' schedule coming up, you just don't know where a win's going to be, and Justin Fields looks good in the first half, but it's a story of two halves in that one, definitely.
yeah, it was good to see Justin Fields play well. Obviously, the Broncos had some injuries in the back end, and they were able to take advantage of it. They ran the ball really effectively too. That's why that 4th and 1 call they give it to Khalil Herbert. He's averaging 6 yards a carry
Yeah,
before that rush. But Yeah, you would like to see them probably get the ball in Justin Fields' hands, especially the way he was playing in the past game. But you give credit to the Broncos coming back. Being down 21 the fourth quarter, it's like, oh, here we go again. The resiliency to come back. Obviously, it's the Bears versus the Dolphins, but
Yeah.
um, I think that's big for. I mean, I don't know if they would have went down like 28-7 and that was it, or 28-14. That it would have got loud in that. It would have got loud in that locker room. So
Yeah.
good to see them get a win on the road. Obviously, the Bears cover, but yeah, I don't know where the Bears go from here. Like you said,
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. We'll go through this Ravens Browns one a little quick. Good. We'll go through the Ravens Browns real quick. Obviously, they had Dorian Thompson playing, throws 3 interceptions. Lamar looks pretty good, 4 total touchdowns, but just no offense from the Browns, and the Ravens easily win this one. To the Bengals Titans. Titans just I don't know what's going on with Joe Burrow. Obviously, the injury is one thing, but that offense is just hasn't gone going. Chase gets the 7 for 73, but Titans were in control of that game the whole entire time. Honestly,
yeah. I mean, this is one of my overreactions. Is it time to panic in Cincinnati?
especially
You
after
don't
that
know
big
the health.
contract.
You don't not even that. You don't know the health of Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So 20 for 30, 165 yards when you have Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. Like, I mean, there's reasons to panic here, and they
They got
just
no run
lost to a
game
team.
either. I don't think they give Mixon enough.
I know 14 carries for 67 yards. I mean, they get down early. You're down 24. You're down 24-3 at half. You got to abandon the run. I mean, you got to score quickly there. But it's just I don't know what's going on with that offense. I know Lombardi has talked about they just like to sit in spread and say, okay, try to beat us, and it's obviously not working. The Titans were able to get after Joe Burrow a little bit. I know it's only 3 sacks, but man, he got crushed on some hits. I think what's the guy from the 49ers name? Al Shahir.
Yeah, he's
he
good.
was
He's good.
Yeah, he was getting after the quarterback. He got some pretty good shots on Joe Burrow, but Titans bounced back after 94 total yards of offense last week. They come back home. Tannehill plays a good game, 240, from 25 attempts, and they got Derrick Henry going. And I think,
it's a big thing too.
Obviously, that's how the Titans need a win. They get
also
22
threw a
carries
touchdown, Derrick Henry.
Buck 22, yeah. So if the Titans can run the ball and establish the run early and get a lead, it's going to be hard, to come back against that team, especially a Mike Vrabel coach defense. They're gonna play well on defense. So, but yeah, I don't know. Bengals have.
Yeah, another thing about the Bengals, I think an underrated loss they had was Samaje Perine. He was really good for them last year, and even in the past game he was real good too. I don't know, like they just can't get 3 points first quarter. I mean, in the first game they only scored 3 against the Browns. But touching back on the Ravens real quick, big game next week because I don't know how their schedule worked out like this, but they played their 3 division opponents on the road. Already picked up 2, and now they're playing Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. That could be huge for the Ravens in that case for that division.
Yeah, and the Bengals fall to just they're 0-2 in the division as well as 0-3 in the conference.
Yeah,
so
that's
it might be time to panic in Cincinnati.
Especially
for a team that had Super Bowl expectations.
And they played in the AFC Championship game last year. I mean, hate to see it.
But Super Bowl year before.
Yeah. Moving over to the game, actually, I was really interested in watching just because of how the two teams been playing in regards to how they were perceived in the offseason. The Rams versus the Colts go into overtime. Colts come back. They were down, I believe, 23-8. Anthony Richardson plays pretty well. Surprisingly, actually, this is his first game he actually finished. Rams get the ball in overtime, go right down the field and score. And Puka Nacua gets his first career touchdown in overtime. Goes 9 for 163, and he's on pace to beat the record. And the one common denominator in the top 2 single season receiving leader is Mr. Matthew Stafford. So obviously, he's been a huge part of those seasons.
Yeah, Matt's playing really well this year. I think the Rams are a good team. Obviously, they probably should have won that Monday night game. They lose their left tackle, and then their offense couldn't move the football after that. But I mean, they played the 49ers well. They went to Seattle and went, in a tough environment. I think the Rams, if they can keep Matt Stafford healthy and Now Cooper Kupp should be back next week. You add him with Puka, Tyler Higbee, and Van Jefferson, and even Tutu Atwell. Like that's a pretty good receiving core. And Kyron Williams is playing really well in the backfield. So, I think this is a team that potentially going to be looking at a wild card in the NFC.
100%. Going to the Buccaneers Saints game, we can go through this one quick. Saints no offense. Baker Mayfield, I mean, he's got to be the biggest surprise so far. They're 3-1, 2-0. Well, that just says away, but they're playing well, playing good football. They win 26-9 in a hostile environment in New Orleans with a good defense. So big win for the Bucs.
It's good. It's good to see Baker Mayfield playing well and making plays. Like obviously, his situation getting basically sent out of town and
win a postseason game for the Browns for the first time in so long, and they just ship him away. And the whole thing with Stefanski and playing him with an injury, and he had a rough deal in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean that's a big win. To go to New Orleans and win that game. They beat the Falcons, the Bucs.
I don't think they played the Falcons yet.
That was their first division game.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They haven't played Panthers either.
Good win.
Yeah, good win. Moving on to the next game, we got OT game, Commanders versus Eagles. The only thing I got to say about this one is Riverboat Ron should be no more. I don't know how you don't go for 2 in that situation. I don't like the plan for overtime, especially with I don't know. You leave it up to a coin toss, and then real bad on that 3rd and long, letting them get a completion down the middle just so get a closer field goal for the kicker. Who's the kicker for the Eagles? Elliott, yeah, and he's lights out. I mean, no doubt he was going to make that, but I would like to see him go for 2, especially scoring on the last play of the game.
Yeah, and his excuse was they were tired after a long drive. Okay, I mean,
come on, you got the momentum.
One play, 2 yards. So, I mean, let's line it up and play football. So, I thought for sure they were going for 2. I don't know why they wouldn't, especially on the road. I like
on the road too is a big thing as well.
At home, I'll take my chances in overtime, but on the road, a division opponent, you have them on the ropes. I say you go for the win there.
All right, let's get to the next game. Vikings Panthers. We'll go quick through this one. Vikings cover. They win by 8. They even have a turnover in the red zone, pick 6, and that issue continues. But they're able to pass by, get their first win. Next up. Yeah. Let's go to the Steelers-Texans, and you could take over for this one, being a Pittsburgh fan and even picking them in our picks, being your only loss this week.
Yeah, I mean, I picked them twice in 3 weeks, and they've lost both times for me outright, not even covered.
Outright, yeah, not even as favorites.
But, this team is not very good. Defensively is supposed to be, the strong point of the team. Mm-hmm. Texans are without every single starter on the offense line, and they run it down our throats the entire game. C.J. Stroud has 16 completions for 300 yards.
Yeah, that's
the secondary is not very good. T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith couldn't get to C.J. Stroud. They did a really good job getting the ball out quickly and protecting him. And then I don't know who's making the decisions. I mean, I've said this about Mike Tomlin since the beginning. I think his game management is not very good. His clock management is really bad. I don't understand the play call on 4th and 1 to be in shotgun. I just don't. I don't understand that play call. It doesn't make any sense to me. I also don't think Pickett is reading the field well at all. He wants to spin out every single time when there's a clean pocket. If he would have just stayed in the pocket, he probably finds Najee in the flats, and we have a first down.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And we're 4th and 5, 4th and goal from the 5, and we decide to kick a field goal in that situation. I think Mike Tomlin really thought that this team was going to drive down the field 2 more times to score 10 points. I don't see that happening. So I just don't think they're a very good football team. It's a classic Tomlin game. You come off a big win, go on the road against as a favorite, and lose. I mean, it's just what it is at this point. I mean, I know we're not supposed to be, a real contender in the AFC, but you have a chance to go 3-1 into next week against the Ravens. Probably, early division grabs there. But it's just, I mean, I will say, though, C.J. Stroud looks really good. I mean, he is probably the best rookie quarterback, at least, from what we've seen for the first 3 weeks. And D'Amico Ryans has those guys playing well on defensively. So, all credit to the Texans, but the Steelers they're not a very good team.
Yeah.
They can't stop the run. They give up big plays in the pass game. It's just typical of Mike Tomlin defense for the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it all right there. Typical going after a big win, favorites going somewhere where they should win. They lay the egg. Going to the next game, we got Raiders Chargers. Khalil Mack 6 sacks, almost breaks the record. But story once again, Brandon Staley sneaks out. I don't know how he's. I mean, Justin Herbert's injured, can't even play under center, and just some of the stuff he goes for, he gets lucky. Too much analytics, but they get the
I
win.
just I don't understand it. When is this ever? He's gotten lucky the last 2 weeks with two red zone interceptions. Punt the ball away. Your defense is playing really well.
Yeah,
Like you said, Herbert can't go under center. He has a hurt hand. Like I don't understand what analytics is. Analytics look at it from they don't understand the game. Like it's not game by game situation.
no.
Every game
There's a
is
flow of the
different.
game that they don't. That there's not a like.
Do they account for an injury to the quarterback's hand where they can't go under center? No, I don't. Like that's why I just punt the ball away. Your defense is playing really well. You're going to tell a rookie quarterback to drive 80 yards down the field.
And he hasn't. O'Connell played decent, but he didn't. He wasn't.
And they were getting after him though too. I
Yeah,
mean, Khalil
six
Mack had
sacks.
6 sacks.
Khalil Mack had 6 sacks.
Punt the ball and say, okay, rookie quarterback, O'Connell go down the field and score 80
does,
yards.
yeah.
I mean, it's just he can't keep getting away with this. He's not playing great teams, obviously, like the Raiders and the Vikings. He gets away with it, but man, it's just
It's going to
I
catch
don't
up.
understand.
It's going to catch up.
It's gonna it has
Luck always catch up.
the football gods will get him.
He'll answer for his crimes. Just going to the next two games, kind of blowouts. Cowboys destroy the Patriots. Mac Jones eventually gets benched. He's looked awful. Cowboys once again.
Is his time up?
I mean, Bill Belichick's. He has shown the most emotion I've seen on a sideline from him, just in general watching Mac Jones play.
The one thing Belichick knows they can't do is turn the ball over.
Yeah, you got to play
He
clean
knows they
game.
can't do that. And what do you turn the ball over 3 times?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to win against the Cowboys. Turn the ball over 3 times. So
I still think we've yet to see Dak Prescott be the reason the Cowboys won a game this year. They've kind of all three of their wins have been blowouts, and Dak hasn't had to do much. But that time's going to come. Going to the next one.
big one next week, Sunday Night Football.
Cowboys 49ers, right?
Yep.
Speaking of the 49ers, they beat the Cardinals. Cardinals cannot backdoor cover for me. I mean, 14-point underdogs. Zach Ertz drops one. Zach Pascal drops the second one, and that one ends. McCaffrey's unbelievable. I wish I drafted him in fantasy. 3 touchdowns on the ground, over 100 yards, and he also gets that receiving touchdown. But yeah, 49ers dominate. I still like the Cardinals. I still think they play pretty tough for Gannon, and I don't think Joshua Dobbs looks too like. I think he's playable. He's decent.
Yeah, they were in the game for a little bit. I mean, they were, what was it, 21-16 at one point, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're gonna play hard for Gannon, which is it's nice to see that, especially given the talent on their team. Like they're gonna get better, obviously, with draft picks and stuff like that. But the fight they have, and I think eventually they'll turn that thing around. But 49ers are a wagon. I mean,
they're built to win now.
You get McCaffrey going, it's hard to stop. So my offensive player of the year is looking good.
Oh, you had McCaffrey, yeah. Now we'll finish it up with the Chiefs Jets, and early, I mean, I thought Chiefs were they're up 17-0, but Zach Wilson actually plays a pretty good game. He has that one turnover at the end, but they look, Jets look pretty good for a home crowd. I thought the Chiefs were gonna look 17-0 in the first quarter. I thought they were gonna blow this one away, and then some questionable things at the end. The holding on Sauce Gardner, and also I don't know if you saw. I think it was Becton. No, not Becton. Not Jawan Taylor, the left tackle for the Chiefs, just holding their rookie defensive end, but they're not going to call that. It's too much inside. There's not enough touch where they. But still,
he had his hands inside, and I don't think Johnson did enough to sell it. He kind of just gave up, at that point.
But that was questionable on the Sauce Gardner one.
That's a terrible call.
Yeah,
that is. I don't think you could call that. I don't understand where the holding was. They're both, and especially how they were calling it in the game. If they were calling it the whole entire game like that, really tight, okay, sure. But that was not the case the entire game. So to make that call in that situation it's an awful call. I mean, they get to give the Jet obviously Patrick Mahomes threw an interception in that play. The Jets have a chance to go down the field. And I wouldn't have put it past them to go get that field. I mean, like you said, Zach Wilson played really well. besides the one turnover. But I think that gives Jets fans some hope.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we just went toe to toe with probably the
Chiefs.
Super Bowl favorites at this point in the season. Like, obviously, they still have a tough schedule. Got to go to Denver next week. If they're able to win that game, go 2-3. I wouldn't. They can still fight for a wild card, especially if the defense starts playing better. But
Yeah.
yeah, tough way to lose that one.
Yeah, hate to see it, but we do also have the Monday night game. We don't got to go over it too much. We got the Seattle traveling to New York. Look forward to watching that one. Should be a decent one, especially interested to see how Seattle plays after a pretty big win against the Panthers last week. But that is going to do it for this Sunday recap. We are going to be doing a Friday YouTube video as well with the Thursday night recap and then a look at headlines on FanDuel and all that stuff. But thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more, make sure you comment down below and drop a like on the video.